Good morning, my students. Today I will discuss about the functions of blood. Blood, it is a body fluid, the most important and necessary body fluid in our body. It performs different functions to maintain the homeostasis of the body. Homeostasis means the normal functioning of the body. So the blood, it is a liquid substance. It is called fluid connective tissue. As it is tissue, it has two parts. One part is liquid part, that is the matrix of the blood, and another part is the blood cells or solid parts. The blood, we have blood about 8% of the total body in a normal person, and its pH is 7.4 and specific gravity 1056 and temperature around 37.5 degrees centigrade. So as it is tissue, it consists of two parts mainly: the plasma part, that is the liquid part, and the blood cells, that is form elements. The blood cells of form elements occupy about 45%, and the liquid part, it is about 55%. So it is actually not totally liquid substance, it is a semi-solid substance due to these solid parts. Now again, the composition already. The plasma part, it consists of again two parts: solid parts which is occupied 8 to 9%, and water 91 to 92%. The solid parts again composed of organic substance and inorganic substance. Organic substance, it is protein, hormones, enzymes, urea, uric acid, creatinine, etc. And inorganic, it is the salts of sodium, calcium, potassium, magnesium, chloride, etc. And the blood cells, again three different types of cells are there, that is RBC, WBC and platelets. RBC, it is called red blood cell. In case of us, that is in mammal, it is called red blood corpuscle, because in the RBC there is no nucleus. As it has no nucleus, so it is red blood corpuscle in mammalian being. And the WBC, the white blood cell, and platelets. RBC, it is red in color because inside the RBC the hemoglobin is there, a conjugated protein. Hemoglobin is a conjugated protein. It consists of heme molecule and globin protein. That is, it is conjugated protein, and due to this heme molecule, RBC, it is red in color. As a result, whole blood looks like red in color. For WBC, it has no color, and platelets, it has no color. Again, the WBC again may be of two types, that is granular and agranular. Granular, those WBC having granule particles in their cytoplasm, then it is called granular WBC, and agranular, those are WBC having no granule particles in their cytoplasm, that is called agranular. And granular, again three different types according to the staining properties and according to the shape of the nucleus, that is neutrophil, eosinophil and basophil. And agranular, again two types according to the size of the nucleus and shape of the nucleus, it is monocytes and lymphocytes. So all these performs separate functions. RBC perform separate function, WBC performs separate function, platelets perform separate function, when plasma performs separate function, and aggregately the blood performs different important functions. So it is very important and necessary substance in our body. So what are the functions performed by the plasma? The plasma performs so many functions, and first of all, transport of nutrients, that is after digestion of food, inside our alimentary canal. The food goes to the blood, and in the blood it mixes with the cytoplasm, and the food substance is transferred to different parts of the body, to whole body cells. And disposal of carbon dioxide, that is, after metabolism of glucose, the carbon dioxide is released here, produced here. This carbon dioxide, it is a toxic substance, it is toxic to the body. So this toxic substance must expel from the body. So a part of the carbon dioxide disposed by the plasma in liquid form. And transport of excretory products. Excretory products, mainly the nitrogenous waste material. The nitrogenous waste material, that is uric acid, creatinine, urea, etc. These waste materials must expel from the body, and this excretory product mixes with the plasma and it goes to the kidney through blood circulation and separates by the kidney and released as urine. Distribution of hormones and vitamins. The hormones secreted by different endocrine glands, and vitamins are also produced in our body and we get from our food substance. These hormones and vitamins all are mixed with the plasma, and as the blood circulates, it distributed, hormones and vitamins are distributed through our body. Then regulation of water balance. As you know, there are 91 to 92% of our water, and if any deficiency, water deficiency occurs in the body, any part of the body, then it will supply water from the plasma. That means water balance always maintained by the plasma. Now osmotic balance, that is, if any cell of the body deficient or sufficient of different materials, then it will imbalance the osmotic. So if there is a in the cell different substances concentration become more, then water supply by the plasma so that osmotic balance can be maintained. Then protection. The protection in the chemical composition of the plasma, we have seen that is protein is there. There are 4 different types of protein: albumin, globulin, fibrinogen and prothrombin. These are the protein substance. Of these, the albumin convert to immunoglobulin, and this immunoglobulin protects our body from our outside harmful substances. Then regulation of body temperature. In our body, in some parts of the body, heat always lost there, and in some parts of the body, heat always gain. So where heat loss occurs, then the plasma will transport heat gain or gain to the heat lost area and supply that temperature to maintain the body temperature fixed, that is 37 degrees centigrade. Then blood clotting, again one of the most important, that if bleeding occurs due to some injury, then it must be plucked out or protects so that no blood can release from the body. So there is a mechanism called blood clotting or coagulation of blood. In the blood clotting mechanism, so many factors, 13 different factors which stimulate the blood clotting mechanism, and out of this, the plasma protein, there is a fibrinogen and prothrombin. This fibrinogen and prothrombin considered as blood procoagulant. That means it helps in the blood clotting process. Then lymph formation. The lymph, like our blood circulatory system, we have lymphatic system. The lymphs are formed from the plasma. It is a circulatory liquid substance that circulates throughout the body through lymphatic vessels. Then functions of RBC. RBC, red blood corpuscle, It performs mainly the transport function, that is oxygen and carbon dioxide, that is our respiratory gases. That the oxygen it gets from the lung and mixes with the hemoglobin part of the blood, and as oxyhemoglobin it transports throughout the body. And on the other hand, carbon dioxide it releases in from our tissue, from our cell, as a result of metabolism of our carbohydrate. Then this carbon dioxide which must be expelled from the body. So as soon as the blood gets carbon dioxide from the tissue, this carbon dioxide it enters into the RBC, and in the RBC the carbon dioxide transport as bicarbonate ion from the tissue level to the lung, and in the lung carbon dioxide is released. It is a reversible reaction. Carbon dioxide is released from the blood. Then acid base balance. As carbon dioxide transport in the blood, there are sometimes acid is formed and sometimes alkali is formed, but we have to maintain, our body maintain alkalinity, acidity fixed. So when acidity rises at a time it forms the alkali, and when alkalinity increases it forms the acid. So acid balance maintained by our RBC. Then blood grouping. As you know, the people having 4 different groups, that means we have 4 different blood groups. That is, some may be A group, B group, AB group and O group, and this is how blood is grouping. In the cell membrane of RBC there is a antigen that is called A antigen and B antigen. A antigen and B antigen, both antigen can be present in some people, and in some people A antigen may be present, in some it is B antigen, and in some people no antigen is there. So now we have grouping the human being as A group, those having A antigen in the cell membrane of the RBC, and B group those having B antigen, and AB group those having A and B both antigen, and O group, that is nil group, there is no any antigen in the cell membrane of the RBC, then that person is called O group or nil group person. Then storehouse of protein. As you know, it is a in a RBC there is a hemoglobin, that means globin is a protein, so it stores the protein inside the RBC. So this is the transportation of carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide acid base balances occur. Sometimes acid is formed and sometimes base is formed here. Then comes the functions of WBC. WBC, you know, agranulocyte and granulocyte, 2 types. The granulocytes neutrophil, eosinophil and basophil. The neutrophil, those are WBC takes both acid and basic stain in the laboratory. When we stain in the laboratory, then it takes the neutral color, it becomes neutral color, that is called neutrophil, and it performs the function of phagocytosis. Phagocytosis, the meaning it is called cell eating. When any harmful solid substance come to our blood, come to our body, then this neutrophil will engulf the solid particles. Those can harm in our body by forming pseudopodia. So next, eosinophil, it is an anti-allergic and engulf the particles of antigen anti-reaction, and basophil, carbon-like particle ingest, and lymphocyte, its immune system own healing, and monocytes, phagocytosis and Dept removal. Now next come to the platelets. Platelets, it is occupied about 1.5 to 5 lakhs in our blood. It helps in the blood coagulation factor. coagulation mechanism. That means platelets factor, it is considered as coagulating factor, blood coagulating factor. So platelets help in blood coagulation, and to stop the bleeding at the point of bleeding point, it will plug the platelets will aggregated at the point of bleeding and it will plug, and vasoconstriction, that means the blood vessels are constricted by the help of platelets.